The inauguration of Donald Trump as the nation's 47th president. The peaceful transfer of power. We brought it to you live all day long. This day, not like anything we've seen before. Trump, the 45th president, returning as the 47th president. We haven't seen this as a country since Grover Cleveland, in fact. The ceremony moved indoors because of the cold. The new president on track to take a record number of executive actions on day one. And in the final hours of his administration, the now former President Biden also issuing last-minute pardons. We have it all covered tonight. President Trump taking the oath of office for the second time in the Capitol Rotunda, the first time inside since Ronald Reagan's second term back in 1985. But it began with this moment right here, Donald and Melania Trump arriving at the White House, greeted by the Bidens, President Biden saying, "Welcome home" to Donald Trump. A tradition for decades, but one that Trump did not honor 4 years ago for the Bidens when Joe Biden won. After having the tea inside, though Donald Trump doesn't drink tea, they did meet for the White House tea that is part of inaugural tradition. The two presidents leaving together. They shared a ride together to the Capitol. In Trump's inaugural address, President Trump promising a new golden age of America, promising to be a peacemaker and a unifier, but also harshly critical of the Biden administration, with Biden and Vice President Harris sitting just behind him. That final moment of the transfer of power, the new president escorting former President Biden and the former First Lady Jill Biden to a waiting helicopter, flying over the Capitol for the last time, ending a decades-long political career. And instead of the traditional parade through the streets of Washington, a rally just moments ago at the Capital One Arena. The night is young. President Trump and the First Lady will attend 3 inaugural balls tonight. We will be here for it all. A primetime special, 10 p.m. Eastern tonight. But we begin here with our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, tonight.
Tonight, America's historic and peaceful transfer of power on full display. Joe Biden greeting Donald Trump at the White House with 2 words, "Welcome home."
Welcome home.
Polite handshakes between the Bidens and the Trumps, and then the 4 entering for the traditional pre-inauguration tea. Over at the Capitol, the audience assembling, and in prime seats among the incoming cabinet secretaries, some of the nation's top tech CEOs, Amazon's Jeff Bezos, Meta's Mark Zuckerberg, Apple's Tim Cook, and of course Trump's close advisor, Elon Musk. Back at the White House, the Trumps and Bidens visiting for about 45 minutes before emerging for that ride to the Capitol. The First Ladies walking to their car. And then the presidents. As the motorcade rolled through the streets, former presidents filing into the rotunda. The Clintons, the Bushes, and Barack Obama walking alone, former First Lady Michelle Obama not attending. The rotunda packed as Trump made his entrance.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President-elect of the United States, the Honorable Donald John Trump.
Please raise your right hand.
Vice President Vance sworn in, his wife Usha holding their young daughter.
Congratulations, Mr. Vice President.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after.
And then it was Trump's turn, taking the oath for the second time.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
The office of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And will, to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The Constitution of the United States.
The Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
A handshake with former President Biden. Then President Trump launching into his inaugural address.
The golden age of America begins right now.
With Biden looking on, Trump pledging to bring back what he called a nation in decline.
My recent election is a mandate to completely and totally reverse a horrible betrayal and all of these many betrayals that have taken place, and to give the people back their faith, their wealth, their democracy, and indeed their freedom. From this moment on, America's decline is over.
Vowing to usher in a, quote, revolution of common sense, starting with a sweeping series of executive actions.
I will declare a national emergency at our southern border. All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came.
The president with this promise.
We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into. My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker and unifier.
And this vow.
Never again will the immense power of the state be weaponized to persecute political opponents. Something I know something about. We will not allow that to happen. It will not happen again.
His tone defiant.
Many people thought it was impossible for me to stage such a historic political comeback. But as you see today, here I am. The American people have spoken.
After the president was finished, Carrie Underwood with a last-minute pivot to sing a cappella.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain.
Trump famously skipped Joe Biden's inauguration, but Biden was determined to stick with tradition. And so today, the new president and first lady escorting the Bidens out of the Capitol to the waiting helicopter. Handshakes, the first ladies exchanging hugs, and then the Trumps waving goodbye as the Bidens flew off. But in the 11th hour of his presidency, Joe Biden with some unfinished business, issuing preemptive pardons for public officials who'd incurred Trump's wrath, including former top health advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci, former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Mark Milley, and the members of the January 6th committee, including chairwoman former Representative Liz Cheney, writing these public servants have served our nation with honor and distinction and do not deserve to be the targets of unjustified and politically motivated prosecutions, and stressing the pardons should not be mistaken as an acknowledgement that they engaged in any wrongdoing. Biden also issuing preemptive pardons to 5 members of his own family, including his brother and sister, saying my family has been subjected to unrelenting attacks and threats, motivated solely by a desire to hurt me. I have no reason to believe these attacks will end. Trump clearly angered by the last-minute pardons.
Why are we doing Milley? He was pardoned. What he said. Terrible what he said. Why are we helping some of the people?
As Trump spoke a long airing of grievances, Biden was heading for the plane and his farewell.
It's been the honor of my life to serve as your president.
With Washington in a deep freeze, the traditional parade scrapped, the president heading to a celebration at the Capitol One Arena. A jubilant procession of marching bands. As in Washington, a new era begins.
Donald Trump, the 47th president of the United States. Our chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce, with us now. We saw Elon Musk had a front row seat in the Rotunda today. He spoke to the crowd at the Capitol One Arena, actually went there even before President Trump did. And tonight you've learned he's in the West Wing.
David, Elon Musk has already been spotted inside the West Wing tonight. He's been given what's essentially an all-access security pass, and sources tell us he is likely to get an office there in the West Wing as well.
In the West Wing as well. Something to watch here. Mary Bruce leading us off. Mary, thank you.